Hi people, welcome to my dance lab. One of the key things I want to share with you, one of the big things that's out there, advanced dance leaders have been asked to share their practice with individuals. First of all, I'll say my practice is very much influenced by the fact I'm dyslexic, okay? So I'm doing some write-ups on dance skills, and what I do, I'm a visual learner. Dyslexics, as a person with dyslexia, I learn better by visual learning, so actually, if I'm writing, I actually do diagrams. Can you see this? Right, okay. This is the way I visually learn. So imagine this is I'm imagining this is my actual iPad, okay? And I've just put here the top dance skills, leading, managing and developing led to a whole host of skills that I had loads of opportunities to lead and skills. So I've identified my own, co-founded the first contemporary dance company in Manchester, the first ever avant-garde and theatrical UK jazz dance group, part of Mixed Movement Festival, Flying Solo, Manchester Arts and Technology. It led to me to be involved in a lot of projects. And what happened, one of the key things, my success was because I asked for archived material. A lot of people never asked for archived material. I did that, and that was mainly not because I did that mainly because two things. One, I was a special education needs child and never got opportunities to lead and have that re-recorded. People got photographs and video of me, but they never gave it to me. So one of the key things, as a person who had failed their GCSEs, we call it, O levels, as a person, I was very good at projects. So what happened was I had academic coach. I wanted to be an engineer, and basically when you get into engineering college, it was around projects that you developed yourself. So what I was doing as an individual, I had to get like Christmas jobs as a student, Easter jobs and all that. I got a lot of jobs through this process because I showed people I was into jazz. So I did a lot of vintage work. I created my own flying solo show from the age of 8 years old, and I'm still doing that now, called The Adventures of the Swing Kid. And it's basically, I just created stories and basically I composed it, initiated it, I developed it, and it became a very fun thing to do, and it made me a lot of money. Because a lot of people had vintage activities going on. Look, we've got a play. We know a guy who's a good storyteller. You can come to your daughter's birthday party. You can bring some records. He's got the clothes. He's got the dancers. So I was in the vintage world. Do you understand? The mainstream sort of vintage world and the underground vintage world. Do you understand? But I had the music, I had the records, I had memorabilia, could storytell, that type of thing. So this is my iPad here. I'm doing, and basically what's happening now is I'm showing individuals there was a method, a structure to my leadership. My leadership was to promote the positive images of my African heritage arts, UK jazz dance. Why? Because it wasn't seen as an art form. The more I can get it seen as an art form, the more I could promote it, and that was important to me. Secondly, to promote myself in this is what I did, because back in the day, it was basically leadership skills, basic qualifications to get you through a door. Now it's lifelong learning. So before 1990, in the 80s, I had lifelong learning skills for an actual portfolio because I was an artist, and that was getting me through doors in retail, choreography and fashion shows. They're not asking me to be a qualified choreographer or anything. It was getting me through doors, and people just said, yo, that's the guy to get because he's good with the people. So the dance skills gave me people skills gave me life skills, the dance skills gave me life skills of working with hundreds of people, in different capacities, youth clubs, in dance halls, in fashion shows, for charities. I did a lot of charity work free for people as an individual to get experience in leadership and testimonials. So 3 things I wanted: video, photographs and recommendations from individuals. It was important if you wanted to get jobs, and for the future. My future at that time, I wanted to be, from 81 to 86, I wanted to be an RAF officer pilot. I was doing mechanical engineering, so I wanted to get a mechanical engineering degree, and then I was going to go into the RAF. And it was the dance I used to keep me fit. I was doing martial arts, everything you want to get yourself ready for the RAF, because I was going to commit myself to 12 years, and the idea was my hobby would be directing, producing my own plays that I wrote. Have you got me? So this is where the interest came from. Anyway, this is me, and what's big now is dance skills. What happens is teaching people to write about the dance skills. Yeah, you got dance skills, so what benefits do they help you? So example, planning and organising is one of them. I used dance skills to get myself into university. 05 to 09, I went on an established business course, won established business awards, and I had no qualifications. in business at all. What I'd done dance projects, people. So this is why at the moment I'm just sharing with people what I did. These are the photographs I had. When I went for the Commercialised Enterprise Fellowship Award, which was a prestigious one, even lecturers in Oxford Brookes University couldn't get on it. You had to have an amazing, innovative idea. What got me through was a 5-minute video I did just as a test. I just did it as a pilot. So what happened, I did a lot of pilots. So imagine someone's like developing a new invention, they do loads of prototypes. I did a lot of pilots like that, loads and loads of pilots to see what skills I'd learned, to see how I felt in doing what I'm doing, because I always wanted to have my own autonomy in sense of my own business. I didn't want anyone to be reliable than anybody else. And then I wanted to identify who I would have to buy in to develop my own business. Have you got that? So going to Oxford Brookes from 05 to 09 was absolutely brilliant for me, because that's where I discovered I had dyslexia. See, the thorn in my side for almost my life, for 41 years at that time, was unresolved issues to do with special education needs. I didn't know what it was. And so I was basically firefighting. When I did projects, nobody knew I was firefighting to get these projects done. So I'd be up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when I worked, not normal hours of 9 to 5. I had that ability because I was a freelancer. But I wanted to have a major production company. It means people want my things between 9 and 5 as an individual. So I wanted to sort that out. So I went to university. I was advised to go to university after going to Manchester Business School on a short course, to spend time to heal myself, to sort out my special education needs, see what you need, get specialist knowledge from individuals in my business. And it was the best move that I made, because in the first year, when I went in 05, I went and did a dyslexic test and I found I was dyslexic, and immediately I started to get dyslexia help. For 5 years, I had to change my whole practice, because having dyslexia affects your health and well-being, and it was important to know this at university where I was going to be put under pressure. What was brilliant was my performing arts, my visual arts, my involvement in the dance industry was the one thing that was keeping me well and healthy, keeping my immune system boosted. Basically, it was my distress management. So when I went to Brookes, that was the number one on the list to what I used, because I spent a lot of time studying. So I just come out in the street, say at night time, outside my house and dance. I lived in a place where there's loads of facilities for me to dance, the same as I had in various other places. Just took my ghetto blaster, went outside 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, danced, went back into the house. Then what I was in London 24/7. So I had incentives, like I've always danced with incentives. Yeah, studied, worked hard, boom, then gone to events and practiced for them, namely all dayers, because namely all dayers are the places where the top dancers go and they really let loose. This is a battleground when you go, and that's what I used to train for, because you need Olympian fitness for that. Anyway, Blue Kid Jazz Dance, just giving you insight into what's happening now. Advanced dance leaders are asked to share their dance skills, leading, managing, developing what they've done. One of the key things I talk about is my dance skills. I didn't do a formal dance class to the age of 16. That was the best preparedness for me, because I was not paralyzed by meeting teachers. When I met formal teachers, I met them on the grounds that I wanted to do a one-man show. So I already had a show. I was going to ballet to refine what I was doing, going to contemporary dance, tap dance, and all them things to add to my arsenal of dance. But I had a one-man show. It wasn't them dictating to me. When they saw what I could do, they became my agents. They're the ones that got me jobs, because I basically had a story. Do you understand what I'm saying? But when I went there as an individual, I wasn't paralyzed like some individuals who at 3 years old were told, you have to do this, you have to do that. So example, most people I knew who were doing dance, males and females, what happened, they've been going to dance school from 3, they kept away from sports, where actually I use sports for my training for dance. You see the difference, right? Okay. So when the teacher said, someone said to me, you're doing ballet now, you've got to start playing football. Don't be ridiculous, because all my friends play football, so I'm not going to do that. So long, the irony of that situation, let me tell you that most dancers have the most injuries of any sports people in the world, because they do too much rigorous training. I never got in